Hello, Dan Joss. How are you today?
Doing great. How are you, Greg?
I'm doing very well today. So on Money Talks today, we're going to talk about a riveting topic known as IRAs. And I'll bet if I ask you what IRA stands for, according to the IRS website, you would know, and I wouldn't know whether you were right or not, because I don't really know.
Individual Retirement Arrangement.
It's not see, I would have guessed account.
Well, like we spoke previously, there's several types of IRAs, and so not every IRA is technically one account.
Okay.
It's an arrangement. But today we're going to talk about a traditional IRA.
Okay.
It's an account allowed by the federal government to encourage taxpayers to save for their financial independence.
Well, that sounds like a great thing.
Sometimes tax-deferred contributions, and always tax-deferred growth.
Always tax-deferred growth. I'm going to need a little more explanation on that.
Of course we will. It's an account where we put money in. That's called a contribution. And you're allowed to contribute the lesser of your earned income or $6,000.
Okay.
And that $6,000 changes, inflates periodically. And if you're 50 or over, you can add another $1,000 called the catch-up contribution. So if you're over 50 like we are, $7,000 annual contribution is allowed if you earn that much.
Okay. If you mustered up enough of that to have the catch-up contribution.
Nice.
Nice. Yes.
Where my kids have an IRA and they don't earn $7,000 a year or $6,000 a year, so they can't contribute $6,000 a year.
Well, that sounds financially responsible, contributing more than you've earned.
But I like the $6,000 or $7,000 limit because if your average income is $50,000, either a starting salary for some fields or a mid-career for other fields, or most around the country, $50,000 is a good earning number, and $6,000 is a little bit more than 10%. And that's enough. That's a good start towards retirement. Save 10% of your earnings.
Yeah.
Where 25 years ago, the IRA contribution limit was only $2,000.
Okay.
And if the government is saying this is for your retirement, and you're only putting in $2,000, it really wasn't designed to do anything.
That's kind of planning to fail.
Right. So you may think it's great that you're putting in $6,000 a year, and that's great if that's 10% of your salary. But some people out there are earning $300,000 a year, and so maxing out their IRA isn't setting them up for success.
No. Once again, planning to fail.
And I say tax-deferred contributions sometimes because the contributions sometimes can be deducted from your income, so you don't pay tax on it the year you make the contribution.
Right.
And other times it's what's called a non-deductible contribution.
Okay.
So the contribution is taxed, but the earnings are tax-deferred. And, of course, it depends what that number is, or whether it's deductible or not depends on if you're married and how much you earn, and whether you or your spouse is covered under an employee-sponsored retirement plan. So there's lots of rules, of course, because, like we said in the beginning, we're talking about the IRS.
Yes, the IRS. Okay. So if somebody wanted to find out more about all these rules, because there are a lot of rules when it comes to IRAs. I mean, we don't even really know what it's called, apparently. You at least know the name, and you probably know most of the rules.
Most of the rules. And I always speak with a tax preparer, too, because they're up on the rules, too. So sometimes two heads is better than one.
That's right.
Give me a call, 757-903-2127, or find out more information about Joss Brown Wealth Advisors at jossbrown.com.
Excellent. Well, Dan Joss, we appreciate you being here for Money Talks.
Thank you.
Money Talks is a weekly program presented for the listener's benefit and entertainment. It is provided at no cost to the listener, and the ideas, opinions, and comments are not to be construed as legal advice, tax advice, investment advice, or other advice specific to the listener. Listeners are encouraged to seek the advice of a licensed professional or other qualified party when dealing with financial, legal, tax, medical, investment, insurance, taxidermy, plumbing, electrical, carpentry, real estate, chiropractic, veterinary, oral hygiene, hot air ballooning, etc. We have given you some food for thought. Now, call a licensed professional such as Dan Joss at 757-903-2127. Thanks for listening, and remember, failing to plan is planning to fail.